Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
That's my jam. Yes, it is. Good morning. Welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm your host, the Lauren Michaels Harris. I don't know why I said that. I'm goofy today. I'm excited. It's a beautiful day. Wow, it's the 17th of August. Kids are getting ready to go back to school. I know in some areas of the country, they've already gone. Remember when school, you'd go back after Labor Day, right? Not the case. So anyway, this month is flying by. We'll be into September before you know it. How you doing on as far as, all the things that you promised you would be completing? We are, what is it? January, March, April, May, June. We're in Q3, one more month of Q3, and then it's all the way out of 2022. So drop it in the comments. On a scale of 1 to 10, where you at? 10 being I'm right on point, 1 being I ain't even started yet. I'm just curious. I'd say for myself, I'd give myself probably around 8. Yeah, I'd say an 8. Not perfect, but 4 agreements. Always do your best. That's the bell of purpose. Look at what I hit it with. Bam, right? The bell of purpose is here as a reminder. It's actually an opportunity for all of us to listen up, lean in, tune in, speak up, whatever the case may be, when there is some truth out on the table, which is consistently here on Bathrobe Moments. Why? Because number one, we have illuminated conversations. And number two, we all come together to fulfill that promise, which guarantees us where 2 or more of us comes together, something wonderful. I call it spiritual magic, will happen. Can I get an amen? Can I? Let me see. Where's my banner for that? I love that one. Well, first of all, let me just say again, good morning to all you beautiful people. It's a wonderful day in this neighborhood. I'm so excited as I am. Where is that one? Oh my goodness. Okay, there it is. Can I get an amen? I'm so excited as I am in the mid-month time every month because our experts come in, and I just love, love, love when they come. I don't know if Tim Chung will be here today. I know the Oracle, Dominic Rivera, is actually on some kind of musical retreat, learning all about music. Don't ask. She'll tell us next month when she comes in, hopefully. Let me see. But we do have Tracy Ross, Diana Ross's daughter, not here. Lord Jesus, why do I always call Tracy Randolph Tracy Ross? I must speak on me. That was country. I am claiming, that's it. I'm going to meet Tracy Ross one of these days. And boy, when I do, I'll probably say, oh, Miss Randolph, it's so nice to meet you. I'll screw it up. Watch. You'll say, no, I'm not manifesting that. Reverse it. Take it back. Okay. Tracy Randolph is here. And Jamie the badass. She don't even need no more names. Lane. Jamie the badass Lane. So they're here.
Okay, I have to say that we're gonna have to meet her together.
For real.
For real.
How many times I don't even know how many times I've called you her.
Yeah.
This coffee just spilled all over. How are you ladies doing?
Good.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything exciting happened since we were together last month?
Oh gosh, exciting.
I was gonna say you guys live boring lives.
We sure do. My boo just started school, so he's trying not to go right now with his dad. So
Is he taking the bus?
No,
He did last year.
for a little bit he did, and then the bullying was just out of control. Kids, I mean, I gotta tell you, humankind is madness, dude. Like the parents who tell their kids it's okay to be mean to other kids because they're different. Like, I mean, my boo's kind of like me, you know. He's like, he loves life and he gets excited every single day about life. And yeah, and when he sees that weird, toxic, negative, like we don't do that here. Mm-hmm. So for him to get that outside of here, I think is affecting him, and it's a struggle that I believe he can handle, that I believe he will get through. And that's the biggest thing in his life right now, right? School.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm glad you brought that up. I hate that you were able to, but he'll get there. He always does. Does. But yesterday I posted, I asked, I think it was last night before I went to bed. I say, hey, the experts are here tomorrow. Anybody have anything you want them to talk about or you'd like us to talk about? And so someone wrote in, and I woke up to it this morning. Actually, there are 2 topics they want us to talk about before we get into your individual segments today. So first of all, before we get into that, why don't we go one by one? Tracy, you can start, then Jamie. Just say hello to everybody. Tell them where you are. Maybe introduce them to you. We know that your show is coming up right after this one. So go ahead and say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody on Bathrobe Moments. This is Tracy Randolph, otherwise known as the Reset Coach, and I am here in beautiful Charlotte, North Carolina, even though the sun is not out today. It's been a rainy week here, but that's okay. We still love life, like Jamie mentioned earlier. And that is it. And I'm looking forward to getting into this conversation with you.
Awesome. Welcome back. And we'll give you guys the link where you can watch the whole living show immediately following Bathrobe Moments if you choose, and I hope you do. Jamie.
Hey everyone, I'm in Florida and it is sunny here with a little bit of rain throughout the day. We're part of nature. I can see my trees, my trail. It looks like a Robert Frost poem outside. So, per usual, I am happy to be here. Happy morning to everyone.
Awesome. Now, you look like you're in a different setup than usual. Did you? So, what's going on there?
Well, it's one of my paintings that's supposed to represent a pug. And then I just have like little like teapots and china and stuff I got from Italy and my travels around the world and my style, you know. I got incense in here. I painted this jar and it's just my art and stuff.
Okay, so everybody is doing well then.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Good. Glad to hear it. I am too. You see, I'm still dealing. I just got off the phone with my doctor actually. I was telling her I need another steroid round to this long COVID thing with this throat. And she was like, "You still have it?" I was like, "Yeah." So, light, love, and healing. Please send it. I need it. Yeah, everything's going great. So, the first topic is let's talk about this. I'm going to scroll it along the bottom. Tips on working within a toxic environment, and actually, what you said about Boo, your son, that on the bus, not taking the bus, that's a toxic environment. But I know for a fact this person, Nikki Silver, out in California, both her and her husband Patrick work in the prison system. And I met them when I was out in LA for the Heart of Hollywood cover shoot. And they've been friends ever since. We were sitting at the bar next to each other. We were in the same hotel. And they are just wonderful people. So even then, they were talking about how they, deal with other COs and people there that just don't care about the human experience, in their opinion. So let's talk about that. Have either of you ever worked in a toxic environment? Raise your hand. I have. Okay, Jamie, why don't you start? And you guys out there, get involved. I want to hear from you as well. So if you've worked in a toxic environment and you feel like sharing, please do in the comments, and then we'll pull them up so everybody can see and respond accordingly. So, Jamie, what was it like for you? Where was it?
Well, it was in the military, one of the things. And one of the reasons my radical feminism exists is because of being treated like garbage and less than being a woman in a male-run environment, in a male-dominated environment. And it is tough. And in the military, you can't just say, you can, right? There's a choice. You can choose to go to jail or you can choose to stay in. So you stay and endure to the point where I was violated, physically, emotionally, other ways. And that is not an okay environment. And I know it does not only happen in the military. I'm not saying that.
Right.
It did happen in the military. It has happened in the civilian world, and it happens more times than not. And at that time, I didn't have the tools. I didn't know, especially in the military, high ops tempo. We don't have time for any bullshit. You leave that shit at the door. And I just recorded something earlier. Yeah. Bullshit things that aren't real, that we think are real at the time. So we go along with it and go along with it and go along with it until finally, I don't know. The woman in me was like, I'm done. Here I am.
So and how did you deal with it?
In the military, I drank with the boys. And, if you can't beat them, join them, I guess. You just deal with it. You drink and you get PTSD and until one day you're like, enough.
It's horrible. I know. I had toxic environment also when I was in the military, in the Air Force in the early 80s. It wasn't cool to be openly gay, and I didn't know how to hide it.
Oh, sweetie, of course you don't.
Right. So it was like this. I knew I could see what was going on behind the hands. I didn't need to see their lips to read them. I could tell. I could just sense it. We all do. And so I remember I'm not a makeup wearer unless it's for a photo shoot or something. But I remember when I saw how they were dealing with it, I just started wearing eyeliner to work because there was nothing in 3510 that told me I couldn't. So I started laying it on, putting on all of it, and until they opened friggin' mouths about it.
Right.
Well, you know what? You were whispering and I yelled back without getting myself in trouble with my mouth. So,
Yeah.
but it was horrible because 1 hour felt like 5.
I know.
You know, I hate anything that I don't look forward to. It's not serving me, you know. Tracy, what about you? What was your experience? I know you from the corporate world.
Yeah, and that's where it was. I just want to say though, like you would think that the military would be the last place where they would want to create a toxic environment when you have to go out and deal with so much
slave mill.
Yeah. But corporate America is very much like the military, or it was particularly when I started out because it was a man's world back then. So a lot of times I was the only woman and the only black woman sitting in the boardroom.
Tracy.
Yeah, so it was difficult, right? Because they didn't really recognize me for my experience and my expertise and the skills that I had. It was more, we have to deal with her because somebody put her in this position. And we're not going to treat her so nicely. And we're going to give her a hard time so that she can really show what she can do, which is what I did. That's how I took it. Like, I'm just going to show you what I can do without compromising who I am.
Ooh, that's a good
Yeah.
We had to be better, didn't we, Tracy? We had to work longer, come in earlier. I had to be the best. I couldn't make one mistake.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Where everybody else has to take 1 step, you have to take 5.
Yeah. You have to work hard to get the attention of the higher ups, so to speak, so that everybody else will respect you.
So, let me ask this. Oh, well, first of all, Jamie, we're like 17 minutes into the show and you haven't lit a joint yet.
I was going to a few seconds ago, but I didn't want to do it in front of when you guys were talking because
just making sure you're feeling okay.
I'm feeling great. That's okay. Thank you for asking.
Okay. All right, there you go. So any tips, if you will, for people that face on a daily basis having to work or navigate through a toxic environment? Because a lot of us, it's not just the workplace, it's family. It could be your neighborhood, you know, could be anywhere. It could be in your own house, you know. So anybody got any tips for personal development? I'll start. If I'm in a toxic environment, I usually try to find a way. I look at it the same way I look at haters. I choose not to have haters. I've referred to them as closet fans, which means I don't expect everybody to like or embrace me right off the cuff, but that's my responsibility to win them over. So I don't have haters. I have closet fans. And so when I'm faced with a toxic environment, I really try to go in and leave something to help dissipate the toxicity. And I don't try to force it on people. I just every chance I get, try to put something in there that will make a person ask themselves, how do I feel about that? Because we can't change people. We can encourage them to change themselves. So that's just the way I see it. Tracy, what about you?
I would have to say just kind of extending what you're talking about, but being able to see what the lesson or the blessing is within that particular environment. Because there's something for you to learn within that situation. And it depends on the temperature, right? It really does. And if you can't teach or learn something from it in those moments, and if you can remove yourself, then remove yourself. Because sometimes there's situations where you just need to remove yourself and get away from it.
Robert Brooker.
Juicy Jamie.
Good morning, Juicy Jamie. Where's my list of words?
Juicy Jamie. I love it.
Oh, Robert.
I do too. Hi, Robert, the handsome Robert.
Robert, these 3 words are no longer allowed on the juicy and moist. So we'll let it slide this time.
He's right about that. They feel entitled to treat people poorly. They really do. The entitlement is ridiculous.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Hi, handsome Robert.
And so here is the other question that came in, which is kind of similar. How do you go about being accepting of all people when you are in surroundings which are not accepting of all people?
You focus on you. You have to focus on you. That's it. The second The second, oh, I'm so excited for my book to come out. It has tips. The second you realize you are concerned with someone else for whatever reason, that you got to say something that's not helpful, you have immediately engaged with them and you're done, right? The second you realize you're doing that, you've got to step back. And if you're in an environment like the military, whatever, make a plan to get out. If it is that bad where you are being sexually violated, sexually harassed, when you are made to feel marginalized, like you aren't a real human, they don't care and they're never going to. Recognize the toxicity in your life. Be strong and be brave enough. Okay, I need to get out. How do I get out of this? And make a plan to do it. Oh, I promise you, when people talk about, oh, it's not that easy, I assure you what you're going through right now, it won't be worth it. When you see on the other side and you visualize, what would it be like to feel like a real person, to be valued where I'm at, to not be, sexually harassed? Do it.
Right. Because I don't know about you guys, but I remember it was so bad at one point in the Air Force that I was physically affected by it. I was physically affected. My fingers were going numb. I was having horrible migraines. Just all kind. I couldn't sleep. Night terrors. And paranoia. I kept thinking that everyone was against me. It was just all kinds of horrible things. And so, I kind of shut down. Because I didn't know, like you, Jamie, I didn't have the tools at my disposal that I do today. So, any tips on removing toxic influences? Tracy, what about you? Any tips?
I'm going to go radical like my sister Jamie for a minute. I'm going to say, just don't give a damn. Like be who you are. Be who you are, love who you are. Like Jamie was mentioning, it's really about you. So be who you are, love who you are, and be true to that. And then you can love other people no matter who they are. You know what I mean? So just don't give a damn. Just don't give a damn. I was talking to you the other day about my aunt who passed away, and she treated everybody the same way. It didn't matter who you were. I grew up with that. So like when I went to school, I didn't care if people didn't like a person that I was talking to, because I didn't see that growing up. I saw her just loving on everybody. So, don't give a damn. Be who you are, love who you are, and love the people that are in your life, and be good to the people that are good to you. Period.
Great.
Tracy said, damn.
I did.
She said radical.
It really is.
I know. Damn is such a bad word.
That's the first. Now, Jamie, what about when you're a parent, like you are, and you have a child like Boo, who you want to protect from everything, but there are boundaries. It's not like you can jump up on the bus and say, which I could see you doing, grabbing a little worm, leave my son alone. So what do you tell your children? What would you suggest for people who need to help their child or children? Tracy, you have a son too. I don't know if he's ever come home and said they're just being mean to me or anything like that. How do you deal with that?
I think first decipher too. I have to decipher, okay, is this a kid thing? Which even at that point, there's some boundaries. Or is this serious? What is serious? I need to differentiate if Brandon is feeling anxious or is it real first? Because there's been a few times where Mama Bear, wouldn't hand that rocks a cradle on someone's ass. And anyway, so
on that one.
Is that Boo I hear in the background?
Yeah. He's excited.
He does not want to go to school.
No, that's happy.
Oh, that's happy?
Oh, he's excited. Yeah.
Oh, well.
They're doing math. They're doing multiplication or something. Anyway, that's he loves life. I told you. So, I first do that. Make, different. What is it? Is it serious or not? And if it is, if it isn't, I give Brandon tools of self-confidence and stuff like that. I tell him the same things I did. I have the tools now to help him through. And can he ignore it? Is there something he can say that's clever? Like, we don't talk about the bully. And we mention the bully's name. And maybe that's a strategy for him to kind of overcome it and make him feel welcome or something. I said, some kids want friends. And they don't know how to do that because they don't get the love and attention at home, Brandon.
Yeah.
So we got to decide how much is and it was too much on the bus. It was disgusting behavior. It was inappropriate. It was marginalizing towards my boo. Right. And I did not want him to feel trapped.
You're trapped. And we're taught, get away from the situation when you can. And on a bus, you can't. What are you going to do?
Nope. So we removed it when it became dangerous, obviously. So easy, right? But on other situations, like if he's feeling nervous about school, we sit down and we talk about, and we're calm.
Mm-hmm. Jamie, did you guys talk to the bus driver?
Oh,
because they're usually one of two types of people. Either, look, I don't put up with this shit on my bus, or they don't see anything.
Mm-hmm.
They don't see anything. And my boo was being targeted by 3 or 4 little assholes.
Wow.
So, and nothing was being done. These were older kids who were saying weird things to my son. And my son, sometimes when he got tongue-tied, he couldn't express what they were saying. And it was just traumatic for him. You know what I mean? So, okay, and now he is upset. Huh?
And for you.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard and you can't protect.
Yeah. No, it's not. And I did want to go down to the bus stop and get on the bus, but I didn't.
I know you did. I know. Bear was like, I wouldn't want to get with you on that one.
Yeah. I can remember when Jordan was in elementary school and a kid used the N-word inappropriately to him and another kid that was in his class. And you know, fortunately, he came home and talked about it. But I used it as a teaching moment for the class. But I wrote the teacher a letter. I went to talk to her. And then her and I sat down and we decided what books were going to be used to help these kids understand that you don't use that word and the history behind it. And she did. Thank God the teacher went through with it, because if not, I would have been there a lot more than I was. But now to this day now, this kid and Jordan are friends because it was just a lack of understanding.
See, that's a beautiful ending.
Not
a beautiful story.
Yeah.
But I'll say this, you know, for myself, I'm glad that sometimes I miss not having kids. I mean, how do you miss what you never had? But I love kids. But I'm sometimes at things like this, I'm saying, now I see why I didn't. Because I'd be like, come here, little kindergartner. What'd you say to me? Bring your ass over. You know, and I'd probably be in jail or something. So
I would be.
Because I'm fiercely protective.
Mm-hmm.
Put that back in now. Things I love. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to break real quick. When we come back, we're gonna let you both. Tracy, we're gonna start with you because we know you gotta duck out early to get ready for your show. But we're gonna let you bring your segment pieces in today. What it is that you would like to share and pour into all of us here. So you guys, great time to share out the broadcast and get any questions you might have ready. We will be back in less than 2 minutes. I promise. Don't go away.
People, when they're trying to really get focused and productive, to ignore the hey bros because they're low priority. Get your motivation, create your checklist, and then that's the formula, man.
Welcome back to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. Before I get our two experts back today, Tracy, the Reset Coach Randolph, and also Jamie Badass Lane, what are you having for lunch today? Have you thought about it? How are you doing on meal planning? That sort of thing. Do you just grab whatever's there? Well, if you're into the grabbing mood, might I suggest this little ditty? Progresso soup. our newest sponsor. I love Progresso soup. I really do. It's really natural. There's a great variety. If you are like me looking for low cal, where's my mic? Let's see. There you go. 150 calories per can. If you want to split it, have 70 calories per serving. Always great. My favorite is this one, Zesty Santa Fe chicken. Whatever you do it for yourself. Be your best and choose the best. I choose Progresso Light. Find it in your soup aisle at your local grocer. Thank you, Progresso. Okay, welcome back, Tracy and
Yes.
Jamie. So we're about to head into your segment pieces, and Tracy, we're going to let you go first. So, Jamie, you and I'll duck out and listen from backstage while Tracy does the thing. We'll be back.
All right, everybody. So just want to tell you a little story first. I woke up this morning and I was praying. And then after I finished praying, I just started looking out the window. And I'm on the third floor of my apartment building and watching this squirrel just jump from limb to limb. And I just started thinking about the squirrel and most animals for that matter, just understanding what they're capable of. And I started thinking about, well, why don't we as humans always understand what we are capable of? And I'm talking to myself here. I don't know if I'm talking to anybody else, but sometimes, I have to bring myself to terms with things. So I'm looking at this squirrel and I'm like, wow, this squirrel is jumping from branch to branch. No matter how big or small the branch was, the squirrel understood what it could do and how it could move around to get to where it needed to go, to find those acorns. It's the end of the summer, and I'm sure the squirrels are looking for their acorns to gather to when they hibernate. So to have when they hibernate. So I'm pretty sure that's what the squirrel was looking for. But the squirrel understood exactly what it was capable of. And after it finished jumping from branch to branch, I watched it scurry down the tree. Now, we as humans don't really believe we can do things like that, right? But then think about those people that we call superhuman, right? We are no different from anybody else out there. But if you think about those athletes, the football players, the baseball players, the basketball players, and some of the things that they accomplish, and they never give up because they understand what they're capable of. And then you think about people like, I'm a big fan of American Ninja Warrior, right? These obstacles that these people do on American Ninja Warrior, it seems impossible, but they are out there and they're doing it because they understand what they are capable of, just like the squirrel. So I want to ask you today to think about what you understand about yourself and what you are capable of. And I want you to stretch that, your limiting beliefs. If you're sitting in limiting beliefs and saying, I can't, I want you to stretch that and really understand what you're capable of. And think about that squirrel and think about those athletes and those so-called, I love that picture. He looks good. He looks a little confused though, but the squirrel really understands what they're capable of. So I want you to think about those athletes and those so-called superhumans, and then really understand what you're capable of, because anything that you can imagine and see and think here, you can exercise your body to do as well. So when it comes to the healthy living, it's no different from anything else. You can, live a healthy lifestyle if you understand what you are capable of here, and then you can exercise it in your body. So that is my tip for all of you today. As I was watching that squirrel move around and really do what he was made to do, I want you to understand what you are also capable of and made to do in this lifetime.
Awesome. Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you.
You guys can catch Tracy Randolph on two shows on the E360 network. Film Talk, which airs on
Tuesday evenings at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And The Whole Living Show, which is right after this show.
Right after this, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on E360.
Who's your guest today, or are you flying solo?
I have Christopher Rausch on today.
Oh, he's watching right now, actually. No wonder. Okay. All right. Great. Catch that show. It's going to be awesome. Always.
Yeah. Amazing.
Actually, speaking of squirrels, they can be bothersome. We all of the animals around our property have names, because but those squirrels, I'm not kidding you, they won't leave my bird feeder alone, crawling up the pole and eating all the stuff for the bird, and we have Charlie and Camille, his wife. And boy, and you're right, they're building nests and doing all that stuff, getting ready. I watched that
Yeah,
stuff.
getting ready for winter. Yeah.
Ready for winter. Oh,
Yeah.
Tracy, we're gonna go to Jamie, but we'll come back before you have to leave so that we can let you have a final thought and whatnot. But let's get Jamie in and see what she brought for us today. Jamie?
I want to say, if I have to get off here quickly, it's because my son is trying my patience today. So anyway, one of the things actually I talk about is your needs, your basic human needs, and torch. And the sea of torch is the community we keep. I love that toxic environment was talked about today. Here's the thing. If you are feeling, I was so uncomfortable. And one of the reasons I was is because I wasn't confident enough. I didn't love myself enough to stand up for myself and set boundaries. If you're finding that you are more and more uncomfortable, that you need to set boundaries. And how do you do that? How do you do that in an environment where you are constantly told you are nothing? You are treated as if you are nothing. You are used as a tool, and that's it, or a number or a thing for the next thing, and you're not valued. Then it is up to you to say, I am worthy, I am valuable. How do you achieve self-confidence? The very first thing you need to do is become self-aware. Brutal honesty. Is it your fault that this is happening? No. You do have a right to say something. You do not deserve for someone to come at you and disrespect you and get in your boundaries just like this. You see this hand right here? First of all, here's your physical shit. Nobody should be right in here. And you have a right to tell that person to get away no matter who it is. No matter who it is. We teach our children to stand up for themselves and stuff like that, except for when it comes to an adult. You have to do what an adult says. I teach my son, no matter who it is, no matter if it's a family member, an authority figure, or someone who is like towering over you, you have a right to say, whoa, you are aggressive. It is too much. You have a right to say that. Now, love you too, guys. Thank you. If someone is coming to you and say, you're going to do this, if they're constantly threatening you over and over again, and it's a job, I'm trying to get all of this in here, and it's a job and you just can't take it anymore. And you're like, I can't quit because of this. One thing I've learned in life, this is exciting. There is always a solution. And garbage people are put at you to see, okay, look, you know what the universe is doing? It's guiding you. It is guiding you towards something else. So be self-aware enough to say, whoa, what is this? Set boundaries, stand up for yourself. If people are not willing to respect you, start making a plan to get the F out of that situation that you're in, and have the confidence and love to say, look, I don't have to put up with you. I don't have to do this. And don't be afraid to move to the next thing. You weren't rejected, you're redirected. Don't forget that. The universe is going to give you things and you're going to think it's too difficult when really it's quite simple. If it's toxic, it needs to go. If it's not a resource and if it's not sustainable, get rid of it.
You meant that. And it's right. She's absolutely right.
Yeah.
And you know, that's the anomaly of the whole thing, is why do we put up with it for so long? I get it in the job arena because, you got to start making transition decisions, and who wants to rock the boat when the family is contingent or depending on what you bring home. And a lot of people, it's paycheck to paycheck or close to it. So sometimes we feel like we don't have options, but we always have a choice. And when you choose, you create options. Because if you choose to just put up with it, it's gonna, let's put it this way. Anything that does not serve us, once we are aware of that, it's time to get rid of it, because the longer you stay in there letting it run rampant, it's just a matter of time before we are serving it. And that is no picnic.
No.
Right. So, Tracy, we're going to let you, anything else you want to talk about? We know you're going to get out of here. And Jamie and I are going to watch a short Dr. Phil 3-minute video about how to get toxic people out of your life. Do you have time for that, or you want to go?
Yeah, I want to see that.
Okay, let's take a look at that, you guys, and then we'll come back and wrap it up and get final thoughts from Tracy before she heads off to her show. So, okay, here we go. Dr. Phil, love him.
I think it's really important in any relationship that you ask yourself this question: what is my cost for being in this relationship?
Oh, look at
Because
all.
there's a cost in every relationship you're in. There's a cost. And you have to ask yourself, what is the cost of being in there? If the cost is you have to lose yourself, you can't be who you are, do what you do, you can't be the person you are because you must conform to them in order to coexist peacefully, the cost is you. If the cost is you have to work at it, that's okay. The cost is you have to make some sacrifices, that's okay. But ask yourself in every relationship you're in, what's the cost for being in this relationship? And you'll see real quick whether it's worth the price or whether it's not.
You got to have a good, strong, solid no muscle that you can stand in, and you got to have a yes muscle. You got to say no to the things that don't honor you, no to the things that don't bring you joy, no to the things that don't bring you peace, and you don't have to explain your no. You got to have 101 different ways to say no. You gotta, and your no matters. And don't back up on your no. Don't draw your line in the sand. And when somebody crosses it, you back up and draw another line. No, stand on your line. Stand for your no.
How do you forgive a family member that you have to be in constant contact with, and though you forgive, the offense continues to happen?
TD
How do you
Jakes.
manage that?
I think, first of all, in all that get an understanding. You cannot forgive what you don't understand. Understanding what makes people do what they do, it doesn't excuse them, it doesn't exonerate them, but it is so much easier to cope with a family member when you understand this is an addiction, this is an alcoholic behavior. You are broken in some way. So I can't expect a radio that's broken to play like a radio that's not broken. Once you understand that, you adjust your expectations to deliverables on the level of the person's capacity. Everybody doesn't have the same capacity. And when you expect somebody to love on a gallon level and they are a pint person, you're going to be frustrated the rest of your life.
Woo! I love that. That is good. Basically, what you're saying is if you got haters around you, in your family or not, you got to get them out of your way.
Have you ever taken an idea to a person, or no matter what you take to them, it's not a good idea?
Right.
It's just something wrong.
Hell
You
yeah.
know, when I share an idea with you, and you don't show me how to make that idea work, all your conversation is why it won't work.
Yeah.
I immediately end that conversation. I'm not interested in why it won't work. That's going to arise on the journey. I just need to know, can you feel what I'm saying? Are you on board with it? Do you have a suggestion how to make it work? The moment I hear, well, I don't think that'll work. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Thank you.
Bye.
And I'm gone.
One of the things that Maya Angelou used to always say to me, and I love this, I actually said it at her memorial service. She used to say to me, because in the beginning, it used to bother me so much when people would talk about the haters. And she used to say to me, baby, those people can't hold the candle to the light that God already has shining on your face.
Yeah.
Can't you see the light that God is shining on your face? And so I learned to focus on the light that God has shining on my face, and not worry about the people who trying to put up a candle and burn it.
Yeah.
All right, that was awesome. That was a power pack 3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Before we get Tracy, I know you're gonna have to go soon. I wanted to touch on this real quick, if we could. What about toxicity environments that live and reside within us personally? Because you don't hear very many people talking about that. It could be, if you're a cigarette smoker and you don't want to do that, a toxic environment within yourself. Any addiction or anything that you keep secreted away.
Yeah.
I always feel there's a reason you're keeping it in the dark, and that should raise a red flag. Why? Because I only know, Jamie, you're a biologist-minded kind of biology-minded person. As far as I know, not many things thrive in the dark except for spores, bacteria, fungi, that sort of stuff. And if you want to kill it, you want to stop its growth, put it in front of the light, right? So what about that toxicity that is within us? Anybody got anything to sound off on that with?
Ooh, that's the most dangerous kind of toxicity, right? You can build, some resistance to what comes from the outside and allow it to ricochet off of you. But what's held and festered inside,
Mhm.
oh man, you have to learn to love yourself first. I think is the biggest part of that, being able to get rid of that, because that's where you talk about the light, but that light comes from loving yourself, I believe. And you have to love yourself first through whatever it is that is festering inside of you. And once you start to see the love for yourself and understand who you are, like I was talking about earlier, and what you're capable of, then those things will start to be released. And get some help. Get some help, because sometimes you can't do it by yourself. And it's okay to talk to somebody and get some help to get it out.
Absolutely right. And I just want to throw out there, because when I asked the question, I started answering it for myself,
Mm-hmm.
which is what I hope for all of you. And I went right to the biggest one that I am aware of that
Mm-hmm.
I've been working on for some time now. And it's much better once I faced it. And that is anger.
Mm-hmm.
I had to learn how to respond to situations and not just react.
Mm-hmm.
I was one of those. Say the wrong thing, bam.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even consider the ramifications. What
Mm-hmm.
am I going to screw up?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, is it really worth it? Is this a battle that can even be won from my side of the battlefield? Or because if it's not like my birth mom, Lucille used to always tell me, why do you let so many things trigger you, Lauren? And it's usually stuff that has nothing to do with you. Don't you know by now that if something doesn't make sense to you, boy, it's because it ain't got shit to do with you. You're never going to figure it out. Walk away. Stay away from it. So that for me was a toxicity that I found, and I still have to, you know, border patrol to make sure they're not trying to creep back in, breach, the hedge of protection that I am trying to hold in place. What about you, Jamie? Any toxicity within yourself that you had to get rid of, and then Tracy, you answer. Then we're going to let you go.
Yeah. So the thing Tracy said, self-love. Well, how do I do that? First, you must be truthful with yourself. That you must.
Not easy for some.
It isn't. And empowering, because then you get to say, okay, all right, I accept myself. I know I'm a little, this or that, and that's okay. And then you're able to say, huh, cool, I'm a badass bitch. What the fuck? Oh, fuck
Right.
yeah.
Right.
I'm going to start setting boundaries. Oh, fuck, I love myself. What? And then all these things. So first, you must accept that. The biggest thing to me, though, the biggest thing when I found this, what was going on in here? What am I feeding my mindset? It starts with my mindset. If I'm consuming garbage, what I watch, what I eat, what I consume, what am I consuming? What am I feeding my DNA? Stress, fear. You would never put sugar in your gas tank in your car. Why? It doesn't work. You would never put the wrong gas in your car. Why are we treating our vehicles better than ourselves? Why are we injecting ourselves with poison? Why are we accepting that it's okay to inject ourselves with poison? Why are we accepting side effects? Why are we accepting harm? Why are we accepting mass media manipulation? Why are we accepting? I know I'm radical today because I want to get through to people that if you are consuming garbage, you will excrete garbage, which means it's going on in here. I hate myself, blah, 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 because the media and everything, Facebook, I'm telling you, it's getting to me. Stop feeding yourself garbage. Use things for what they are for.
Right.
It's a tool. It's not something for you to consume and be addicted to. I'm talking to myself here. I've really examined my usage of things and what I consume. And instead of having Facebook on my phone, now I do neck stretches. You know what I'm saying? What was I feeding my body, my DNA? I was physically mutating my neck to look down on my app. What are we feeding ourselves? What we consume is what we become. Eric had to dig out the cords of stress from my body. What are we doing to ourselves?
Right.
When we can be truthful with ourselves and we can say, this is damaging me and I don't want to be damaged. I don't want to be on my bed screaming in pain for 3 days because of a Facebook app. that was designed to make us be addicted to it because our neural pathways have been changed. I've mutated my neural pathways. So now I'm repairing my neural pathways, is what I'm saying.
It's a choice.
Yeah.
It's what we choose. Tracy, final thoughts from you.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm just gonna say, boom, she hit it right on the head. What I do, I like some of the people that were in that video. So I was just listening to TD Jakes last night because when I feel like I need something, I got to get some inspiration from somewhere, and I need to be grounded. So what you consume is so important. So I listen to the people that give you some good food. Good food.
Right.
Yeah, but I have to run. I love you guys.
Thank you
I will
so
see
much.
you later.
Oh, before you go,
Yeah.
September 14th, Wednesday, is our next come together for the experts, and I believe the other two will be here next time. But thank you so much for coming in today and pouring in. Have a great show, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thank you. Love you guys.
Thank you, Tracy. So, Jamie, let's talk about what's on the screen because it really ties in with what you just said. The law of attraction, when we are feeding ourselves those things that do not serve us, do you believe that we're engaging the attraction process of the law of attraction to bring us more of the same?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially if if we're all consuming the same things, we're all saying the same things, doing the same things, we're going to get the same things. I decided, and even today, I felt like I got a little more, truthful with the public, with whoever's listening. And I'm going to start doing that because I don't want to be the same. I'm not the same. I want people to know that what we consume, it first starts there. And it is not okay that bioengineered products are on the shelves for us to grab. Okay? It's not okay. And a lot of people don't know that because the label was never supposed to be on the labels until this year. My point is, that's one small example, right?
Okay.
How it's being fed to us. Those types of things are mutating us and hurting us. That's something that's physical that really is hurting us.
Yeah.
And that is so important because it is literally changing our DNA. It's mutating us. It is scary. And those are the things. So if you say law of attraction, I don't want the same things that everyone else is eating because these people are scared. These people are living in a character they created called fear. I don't want that. I want to shed those. And if that means that people don't like me because it's scary about what I say, okay, I get it. No harm, no foul. Still listen to me in private if you want to. You're not haters or celebrators, and that's cool. Yeah. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I want people to be well. I want people to feel well. I truly want that. And that has really been weighing on my mind, and which is why I'm only going to use Facebook this is an example. I'm only going to use Facebook for which it was intended, as a tool, as a way to do things, not as an addiction, not as something that hurt myself. Right. I fed myself those things, and it's so important what we consume, and that's what we attract. I want to attract better. You know how you leave comments on Jody Watley's page and you go to different stars? You know why? Because you want to reach higher and higher and higher. So I'm like, okay, that's who you attract, right, Lauren? If you reach higher, you feed yourself different things than other people feed them, right?
That's true. I made a post a couple weeks ago on Janet Jackson's main page. And they started a page where they said, Janet loved your comment. Go here and tell her more. And when I went there, I was the 7th person that was in there. So, and there she was, and I was like, right. So you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Now, before we get out of here, we got 5 minutes. I want to talk about this really quickly because it's important. Now, a lot of us may be sitting here going, you know what? I'm going to do better. You know what? I'm going to figure out a way to stop feeding myself things that are not nutritious. I don't want 0-calorie anything. I want it to be nutritious, to feed my spirit and everything about my spirit. So I want to talk about the setting of intentions because that's half the equation. That's like, in my mind, pulling back the bow with the arrow. But then what we don't talk about enough is the sending releasing the arrow of intentions. I think, that thing about the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I could never figure that out. But now I believe they mean, because it's the corpses of those of us who pulled it back and never released it. Never released it because, well, that's a moving target, or that target isn't worthy. No, if it is your truth, you let it go. The truth always hits its mark. Always.
Mhm.
So talk about that. How important do you, and what's one of the ways, like when you start the process, you set the intention, I'm going to do better. I don't want this shit in my life anymore. What do you do to pull the trigger on that change? Because a lot of people say that and we go walk. I've even seen people who do this. You don't want to mess with her. She messy. Leave that bitch alone. And then the very next day, I'm driving past Olive Garden, and who do I see sitting out on that deck eating with the same bitch she was just telling me to stay away from?
Yeah. Lauren, I love you.
I'm telling you.
I know. I believe you.
Right off the road looking. I know she ain't sitting up there. It's kind of like what he said in the thing about what Steve Harvey said. When you run a great idea past somebody, you want their constructive insight. I didn't ask you for constructive criticism.
Right.
I asked you for constructive insight. And then they go, I don't know about that. Don't be around it. Be around people that celebrate you, not tolerate you. So, final thought.
Final thought is look at how your life is right now. Seriously, look at it as now. In 12 months, do you want to feel the same way? No? Stop doing the same things. Stop saying the same things. Stop consuming the same things. I'm serious. If you're feeding yourself poison, stop feeding yourself poison. All right? How do you feel right now? How would it be if you did it? Just eliminate it. I didn't say I'm going to eliminate Facebook. You know what I did? I took the fucking app off my phone. I didn't say I'm going to do it. I didn't say I'm going to do it. I did it. I did it. And guess what? Haven't been on it except for this. This is important to me. This is what I choose because this is a higher level for me. Not a constant look, not a weird thing about followers and stuff. I love my followers, but that's not what this is about.
How soon, Jamie, how soon after you said, that's what I'm going to do, did you actually do it?
Within an hour, I kept saying it. I said, you know what? Eric was massaging my neck. I said, I'm going to do it right now. Stop. I'm going to do it right now. And I eliminated the app.
There you go.
Within an hour.
Before we can talk ourselves or allow something in there that doesn't serve us to talk us into talking ourselves, because those things that don't serve us really have no power except the power we give them. The only way those things can hurt us, harm us, or detract us from our mission is through our abuse of invitation. If you invite something in that's not serving you, then don't expect to get shit from it.
Yeah.
If it's not there to serve you. So I would implore all of us to find something today. Look around inside your world, lift up the cushions, look behind the couches, and see if there's something hiding in there with you that does not serve you. And then do something about it. Don't wait, because it ain't going to change. Just going to be more of the same. Listen, Jamie, always a pleasure. Love you, girl.
Thank you. I love you too.
Give them lots of love from us. Brian, hello. And I will see you soon.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
You guys, same for you. Get out there today and be that very best version of yourself. All it takes is a mindset. Decide which will be yours. I'll see you tomorrow for another illuminated conversation. Where? Right here on Bathrobe Moments. Have the best day ever. Love you guys. Thanks, Jamie.
Thank you. Bye-bye.